Hey, it's Captain Roger. Let's go for a walk. You know, we've been talking about the lives of some of the people who walked with God before us. And yesterday I was talking about Joseph being set free from prison by being faithful in his walk with God. He ended up running relief efforts in Egypt, collecting grain through a series of good harvest years and then distributing it to people during several leaner years that came afterwards when they needed help. Eventually, even his own brothers came to buy food from him. Now, they didn't know it was Joseph, of course. He'd been given an Egyptian name, and like other high-status Egyptians of the time, he would have had the hair shaved from his body, and he would have worn heavy makeup, and possibly even a ceremonial fake beard or other adornments of that sort. He would have spoken Egyptian and used an interpreter when he was dealing with people from foreign lands. And he would have spoken to them from a distance, probably across a room or from a raised platform. Now, when Joseph saw that it was his brothers, he had some moments where I think he didn't really know what he should do about them. I mean, he didn't want harm to come to his father or to the younger brother who'd been born a short time before Joseph had been sold as a slave. And as much as he might have wanted to jump up and have his brothers seized and beaten and perhaps sold into slavery on their own, he knew that wasn't what God would have wanted him to do. So he messed with them just a little. He tested them where his brother Benjamin was involved. And then he hit a point where he just couldn't go on because these were his brothers. This was his family. And what they had done to him, as harsh as it was, it had ultimately brought him a life that he never would have experienced in a walk with God. It was deeper than any he might have had at home. So he revealed to them who he was, telling them what they had intended for evil, God used for good. He actually said, "So it was God who sent me here, not you. And he's the one who made me an advisor to the Pharaoh and the manager of his entire palace and the governor of all Egypt." I mean, there's quite a bit of forgiveness layered in there. But I think maybe when we walk with God, this is the kind of thing he leads us to. What it is justice. Justice in the way that word was originally intended to be used. Justice, as it was originally defined, is the restoration of all things so that people could live together in community and prosperity. Now, today, we tend to just think about justice as punishment. But at most, that's just a tiny little piece of it. And when we walk with God, what we find is that we can embrace this larger idea of justice rather than focusing on personal retribution or on our desire to see hurt returned for hurts given. So, in our walk today, and hopefully for the rest of our lives, what we need to do is try to focus on how we can bring about this larger version of justice that God recommends to us. It's not always easy, but it is definitely part of walking with God. Speaking of which, I need to finish my walk. I'll see you tomorrow. Grace and peace to you.